So a few days ago, I saw a A24 movie called Friendship, and everyone told me, "Oh, this is a hilarious comedy." And in a way, they're right. But more than anything, Friendship is a tragedy. It's about this guy who moves into the neighborhood and welcomes himself to the newest neighbor, named Austin, played by Paul Rudd. And at first, their relationship's going really well. One scene that seemed a little odd to me was when Tim Robinson's character, who's the guy who just moved into the neighborhood, his name is Craig. He gets a phone call from Austin, who's Paul Rudd, and Paul Rudd basically asks him to leave work right away to go and hang out. And Craig does that in front of all of his coworkers, which wouldn't you get fired for that? But anyways, later Craig goes to Austin's job, where he's a morning news weather anchor, and he gets really pissed off that he's there. He wants him out of there, which is odd because it's like, dude, you literally had me leave my job, and now I went to your job, and you're giving me shit, or whatever. So after a while, I don't want to give away the whole plot, but Craig kind of turns out to be this guy who is too intense. He doesn't understand barriers, and because of that, Paul tells him to his face, as politely as he can, "I don't want to be your friend anymore," which triggers Craig. Did I say Paul? I meant to say Austin said this to Craig. I'm terrible with names. I am admittedly fucking horrible with names and words. I forget them. It's part of my autism. And here's the thing. I think Craig had autism in that film, or some sort of mental deficiency, where he doesn't understand barriers, like I said before. He gets way too emphatic, and he makes people uncomfortable. And this movie is a cautionary tale about what happens to people when we reject them, who need a friend, and they don't need to be rejected all the time. They need to be, Craig could be tolerated, right? And when Craig has just these multiple horrible meltdowns that ruins his life, a part of you feels bad for him, but another part of you hates him. Or not hate, that's a strong word, but I would say can't stand him, because Craig just doesn't know when to shut the fuck up and when to leave you the hell alone. And the sad thing is, there are a lot of people out there who have trouble interacting with people and have trouble fitting in society. And Craig, I don't know how Craig found a wife and had kids. I think, there is a line in the movie that sort of explains why she found him and liked him, but it's a spoiler if I tell you what the line is. This movie connected with me because, as I said before, I have autism. I was just diagnosed with it last year. And I was very shy. I didn't know how to talk to people. And then when I tried to come out of my shell and talk to people initially, I was just performing too much, and people just got freaked out and they didn't want to get near me. And eventually I kind of learned how to talk to people. I sort of learned how to put on a fake smile and how to act like everything's okay when it's not. And I eventually did make a lot of friends and relationships that'll last me a lifetime. And I found a personality that is me, but it's also sort of not me in a way. It's kind of like when we're in public and we do that loud, polite laugh when we make a joke. It's sort of like that. And yeah, this movie kind of spoke to me. I'm like, I could see myself as Craig, where I would melt down and go crazy. Well, not really. No, not like that. But I can understand why Craig wound up the way he did, because he needed connection outside of just his wife and kids. He's a narcissist who needs to fit in. And look at what I'm doing right now. Is this not narcissistic? Trying to get clicks, talking about a movie that you like? But anyways, Friendship comes out, it's out now on Friday. So I think it's released wide in theaters. Check out my full written review at ypareviews.com. The YPA stands for You'll Probably Agree. And there are some really funny moments in this movie. This movie is really funny. But more than anything, it is a tragedy. And you'll see why. Okay.